Thank you, and good evening, everybody. My name's Laura Taylor. I'm the Chief Executive of Winchester City Council. Deputy Lieutenant, Madam Mayor, soon to arrive with us, honoured guests and councillors, good evening and welcome. Tonight is such a special night, and we are honoured that you are all here with us. The very first item of business is the election of the 824th Mayor of Winchester to hold office until the next annual meeting of this council in 2025. I therefore call upon the proposer of the Mayor, Councillor Neil Cutler. Thank you, Councillor Cutler. I now call upon the seconder of the Mayor, Councillor Kelsey Lerney. Great pleasure. Thank you, councillors. And I now put the motion to the meeting of council that Councillor Angela Clear be elected Mayor of the City of Winchester for the period commencing 17th of May 2023. Is that agreed? Thank you, members. And ahead of the entry of the Mayor, I would like to welcome to the floor to entertain us this evening, and we are most honoured that they are joining us this evening, members of the Royal Logistic Corps, Corps of Drums. Here we are. I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and welcome. And first of all, we've already shown our appreciation, but a huge thank you to the Royal Logistic Corps of Drums for that marvellous tribute to our Mayor. I'm sure they can still hear us, so let's give us them another round of applause. Thank you, everyone. The election of the Mayor has been proposed and seconded. Please can I now call upon those members in turn to welcome the new Civic Party, the Mayor, Councillor Angela Clear and Mrs Therese Evans. I therefore call upon the proposer of the Mayor, Councillor Neil Cutler, to say a few words in support as proposer.
Deputy Lieutenant, honoured guests, Madam Mayor, sorry, honoured guests and councillors. It's my pleasure to just say a few words about Angela. Angela moved to Wickham with her husband Peter in 1975. When her son started school at the Montessori School in 1980, Angela helped the school as a volunteer. This triggered an interest in education, leading to her to train as a teacher. And by 1997, she was head of the school until retiring in 2008. Angela joined Wickham Parish Council in 2003 and became chair in 2005, a position she held for 16 years. Locally, she has also been involved in many aspects of village life in Wickham, including the Twinning Association and the Wickham Community Centre. In 2007, she was elected to Winchester City Council as one of the two members for the Wickham ward, and after the 2016 boundary changes has represented Southwark and Wickham. As a district councillor, she's been active on many committees, has been a member of cabinet, has chaired the Health and Environment Policy Committee, and was the Liberal Democrat group manager for 8 years. In all these roles, Angela exudes warmth, friendliness and kindness, but as a chair is also firm and takes no nonsense. These are all qualities so important to the role of mayor. So it has been a great pleasure to welcome, or it is a great pleasure to welcome my good friend, Councillor Angela Clear, as Mayor of Winchester for the municipal year 2023 to 24.
Thank you, Councillor Cutler. I now call upon the seconder of the Mayor, Councillor Kelsey Learning.
Deputy Lieutenant, Madam Mayor, honoured guests, councillors. It gives me great pleasure to say a little about a woman who I know will give a tremendous amount of support and advice to the Mayor during an exciting and challenging year. Therese Evans was born and educated in Portsmouth and demonstrated a talent for languages, taking a degree in French, German and Italian. She taught modern languages for over 30 years in a variety of settings, including being the first head of modern languages at Henry Beaufort School. Marriage was what brought Therese back to this area, and she and NHS dentist David brought their 2 daughters up in Wickham. Involvement in the community led to election as a councillor, and by the time she stepped down from the City Council this May, Therese had been the City Councillor for Wickham in several boundary incarnations for 28 years, holding many senior positions, including Deputy Leader, Cabinet Member, Chair of Environmental Health and Planning Committees, and of course being Mayor of Winchester in 2001. Therese has been heavily involved in planning at both the City Council and the South Downs National Park Authority, particularly looking to ensure fair outcomes for future tenants of affordable housing and to maintain biodiversity. Working with the Local Government Association, she has helped many other councils improve their planning and other services. Historic environment has been another area of focus, with involvement with the Arts Council, Hampshire Cultural Trust and the Winchester Excavations Committee. After all her years of public service, we were trying to give Therese the opportunity to lead a quieter life, but we are delighted that she is staying involved with the City Council for 1 more year in support of Councillor Clear's mayoralty. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lerney. And I now call upon the Mayor to take the declaration of the acceptance of office.
I, Angela Clear, having been elected the office of Mayor of the City of Winchester, hereby declare that I will take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof to the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there is a little paperwork to complete. Madam Mayor, can I invite you to sign? Yes, indeed, they will be lovely. Here, I'll countersign for you. You.
Thank you so much. Lovely. Thank you.
So, Madam Mayor, the honour of being Mayor of Winchester comes with a set of regalia, and we rarely get it out of the vault. But tonight is one of those nights. So please, would you step forward to the front of the table and I will share them with you and friends, colleagues, honoured guests. And I pass them. So the first item is the mayoral jewel, which dates back to 1924, and it is one of our most precious items. And the next, and the PowerPoint is lovely, but it truly does not do this justice, is the mayoral brooch, which is simply beautiful. Thank you. And again, another item, very precious, rubies and emeralds in this one, which is the mayoral bracelet. And this item, which is very precious, is the mayoral ring. But it is only to be worn on royal occasions and for major cathedral services. However, the ring is not fit for a lady's hand, I think, but we pass it every year. Thank you, thank you. Okay. And as Mayor of Winchester, there used to be gates. So I'm not going to pick these up here because that will be a jangle, but then, Madam Mayor, it's the keys to the city at this point. which we're going to leave there for you. But one that I do need to pass over to you, much loved, are the far less ornate, but even more secure keys to Abbey House. Thank you so much. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Lovely. And then it's for you to present the Mayor's Escort badge to our students. Thank you. Yes. Your raise. Great day. Lovely day. This is your deputy there and I believe. That's one. It's one is fine.
You should know because you presented it many moons ago. That's
Okay, Jermaine, which one?
it's this one. Okay, next. Listen, this was my first thing I got wrong. Please forgive me. Grace is usually correct, so I will stand by what she said. Grace, I understood. Here is your. No, I'm sorry, I've got to say something. Grace, it's just that. You know, sometimes these things do go wrong, and I will admit it, and I will own up. Grace has just sat down and said to me, no, I'm sorry, it's took the wrong way. Is that what you said? Yeah, we rehearsed this today, did it? I love it, so we got the right one. Okay. Right. Now, I'm going to say thank you to the chief exec. Now, I am going to make a little speech. And I hope you appreciate it after what's happened so far, but I'm sure it will go well. Deputy Lieutenant, High Sheriff, High Steward, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Freedom Regiments, honoured guests, and councillors. This occasion demands that I say a few words. So may I please start by saying, and I mean it, it is truly an honour to be chosen as the 824th Mayor of this dynamic city of Winchester and our brilliant, lovely district. I thank my fellow councillors for their support, as always, and I greatly value this special opportunity I've been given to serve the community. As many of you will know, Derek Green had to step down from the mayoral role earlier, and it was my privilege to step in and help out, taking on the role much earlier than I'd planned. The last year was memorable for so many different reasons. We started the municipal year with the Queen's Baton Relay coming to the district. The City Council and the Mayor were fortunate enough to support this event in both Winchester and further out on the edges of our district at the historic home of cricket in Hambledon. The next big event in the calendar was celebrating our wonderful late Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The City Council supported many road closures for street parties and beacon lightings, and the Mayor was out and about in the district at many events. sadly, it seemed no sooner than we had finished celebrating the Jubilee, the country, if not the world, was mourning the passing of Her late Majesty. When a reigning monarch passes, there are many events that protocol states must happen, all of which are years in the planning. And we were very proud as a city to take part in these events. A wreath laying ceremony was carried out when the news of the Queen's passing was first heard, a sad and solemn event. But no sooner this was done, the proclamation of the new king was carried out, culminating with 3 cheers for his new majesty. A surreal few days from the sad to the joyous, an occasion of which many had never witnessed before. Once the country emerged from the period of mourning, the mayoralty had been busy finalising plans for a visit by the Duchess of Gloucester as part of the Adjutant General Corps' Freedom Parade, a day not to be forgotten. With the weather, unfortunately, not assisting with the day, but it didn't deter the soldiers on parade or the public who came out in force to witness this wonderful event. But I would say I would not have liked to be the soldiers having to dry their uniforms at the end of the day. More recently, we come to the wonderful occasion where the world tuned in once again to the historic events taking place in this country, the coronation of King Charles III, and many of us enjoyed the Thanksgiving service, Winchester Cathedral. Street parties and the special weekend culminating in the big help out. And now here we are at the annual mayor making, where I am greatly looking forward to my mayoral year. This occasion also demands a few words of gratitude towards all of you, all of those who have made this occasion possible and worked so hard to ensure its success. You know who you are, you've been brilliant, and I thank you. Congratulations to Councillor Russell Gordon-Smith on his appointment as Deputy Mayor and his darling wife. And I know, Russell, we will work together. Well, if we don't, you'll be in trouble, but don't worry about it. Therese Evans will be my mayoress and accompany me around the district. So thank you, Therese. May I also thank, I'm looking over my glasses at you, Timothy, my son Timothy, Simon, and my family for their support, for keeping an eye on me. Mind you, Tim doesn't know exactly what I get up to some of the times, Tim, and you never will, so let's go down that road. But may I say, I love you lots. You're so special to me. Also, the support I have received from my close friends, especially the Manor Close posse. That's where I live, in Manor Close, in Wickham. Many are here this evening. They watch over me too much, I think, and I can't make a move without them knowing what I'm up to. But thank you, guys and girls, because you've been brilliant, and I really appreciate you. I've chosen 2 cancer charities to support in my mayoral year. Rowan's Hospice. Why? Because they looked after my dear husband, Peter, so well. Naomi House and Jack's Place, who do sterling work. And SAFA is my 3rd charity, a brilliant organisation for those who are serving or have served in the armed forces. So I sincerely hope, you'd better, You will all find time to attend as many of my events as possible because it would be so very much appreciated. I'm nearly there. The entertainment this evening was chosen by me not only because they are first class and a joy to watch, but those that know me also know that I love a man in uniform. I absolutely do. And didn't they do us proud? And I thank them from the bottom of my heart. So now I would like to present my Mayor's Cadets with their badges. And so may I ask you to come to the stage, Thomas Nunn, Sarah Nutbeam, and Rowan Horsfield. Thank you all very much. And I look forward to working with you this year. So honoured guests, that's it. I've spoken enough. And I know you are all eager to get into the King Charles Hall later and have a drink. But once again, my really sincere thanks for being here this evening, and thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it. Well, so, ladies and gentlemen, the next item of business this evening is the election of the Deputy Mayor to hold office until the next annual meeting of the Council. I therefore call upon the proposer of the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Jackie Porter.
May 2023.
Thank you, Councillor Porter. I now call upon the seconder of the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Margot Power. Thank you, Councillor Power. I now put the motion to the meeting that Councillor Russell Gordon-Smith be elected Deputy Mayor of the City of Winchester for the period commencing the 17th of May 2023. Is that agreed?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Honoured guests, members, the Mayor will now present Councillor Gordon Smith and Dinah Ashcroft with their badges of office, and the Deputy Mayor will sign his declaration of acceptance of office. Mhm. Mhm. And just a little more paperwork. To sign for you.
Next item of business this evening is for the election of leader of the council, and I now call upon the proposer. Who is the Councillor Cutler? Sorry, Councillor Cutler. I lost my thought there for a minute. Councillor Cutler, thank you.
Madam Mayor, honoured guests, councillors, I propose that Councillor Martin Todd be leader of the council for the following municipal year.
So Councillor Cutler, is there a seconder, please? Councillor Thompson.
Yes, and councillors, I'm delighted to second the motion that Councillor Martin Todd become leader of the council.
Is that all agreed? Thank you. Councillor Todd is duly elected as leader of the council.
Todd, I wonder if you might join us so that Madam Mayor may present your badge.
You, Councillor
Can I
Todd.
ask me to do it? Let's get stuff.
Do you have a few words you wish to say, Councillor Todd, or do you ask you or are you
Thank you,
ready
Chief
to announce
Executive.
the Deputy Leader and members of Cabinet?
I thought I might do that. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Chief Executive. Deputy Lieutenant, Madam Mayor, honoured guests, fellow councillors, I'm very pleased to be able to announce the Cabinet for the coming municipal year. I will remain as Cabinet member responsible for asset management. Councillor Neil Cutler will be Deputy Leader, Vice Chair of Cabinet and Cabinet Member for Finance and Performance. Councillor Kelsey Lerney will remain as Cabinet Member for the Climate Emergency. Councillor Lucille Thompson will be Cabinet Member for Business and Culture. Councillor Jackie Porter will be Cabinet Member for Place and the Local Plan. Councillor Chris Westwood will be Cabinet Member for Housing, and Councillor Kathleen Becker will be Cabinet Member for Community and Engagement. And I would like to thank Councillor Power, Councillor Gordon-Smith and former Councillor Ferguson for their service in the previous financial municipal year.
Thank you, Leader. And this evening, as well as bestowing the honour of Mayor upon Councillor Angela Clear, we also established the governance framework for the Council for the ensuing year. So therefore, members, you have in front of you a table of the committees referred to at agenda items 7 and 8. This sets out the nominations for the membership and the chairpersons of those bodies. Can these be collectively agreed?
Is that agreed?
Thank you. May I then call upon the leader to propose and the deputy leader to second the various resolutions as set out on agenda items 10 and 11, please, together with the appointments of the memberships as listed on the table in front of members.
Is that agreed? Thank you. May I now take the opportunity to welcome back our returning members and the elections. Congratulations to Councillor Todd, Councillor Horrell, Councillor Gordon-Smith and Councillor Rutter, and a special mention to our new members who are Councillor Adrian Brophy, Councillor Jonathan Williams, Councillor Danny Lee, Councillor Hannah Greenberg, Councillor Paula Langford-Smith, Councillor Chris Chamberlain, Councillor Johnny Morris. I love that. It always reminds me of Johnny Morris. Councillor Morris, I hope you don't mind me saying that. Councillor Nathan Eve, Councillor Charlie Wise, Councillor George Prest, Councillor Jerry Brett, and Councillor Sudhakar Atwal. I very much look forward to working with all new members of the council. Well done. I will now like to present certificates to retiring councillors in recognition of their service to the community as previous members of Winchester City Council. Firstly, may I say, it is my great honour to present a certificate to my former fellow ward councillor, Mrs. Therese Evans. Therese was first elected to the council in 1995. That is an incredible 28 years, representing the Wickham ward from 2016 and the Southwark and Wickham ward. Therese was a member of Cabinet between 2002 and 2006 and was Mayor of Winchester 2001 to 2002. So I'm delighted that Therese has agreed to accompany during my mayoral year. So Therese, stay there. I now call upon former Councillor Vicky Weston to the stage. Now, Vicky is receiving her certificate in recognition of her 17 years service from 2006 to the communities of the previous Swanmore and Newtown ward, and from 2016, the Central Mean Valley ward. Vicky was also a member of Cabinet from 2011 to 2016. Vicky. I now call upon a lovely man, Councillor Mike Crask, to the stage. Mike is receiving his certificate in recognition of his 4 years service from 2019 to the communities of the St Barnabas ward. Oh, thank you. I now call upon former councillor, lovely Hannah Williams, to the stage. Hannah is receiving her certificate in recognition of her 4 years service from 2009 to the communities of Badger Farm and Oliver's Battery ward. Hannah was also a member of Cabinet in 2021. Please can we now also record our thanks to retiring members who were not able to attend this evening. Tony Bronk, Judy Clementson, Paula Ferguson, who was a member of Cabinet from 2020 to 2021 and also 2022 to 23, Jonathan Fern, Derek Green, who was of course Mayor in 2022, Hugh Lumby, David McLean, who was mayor 2017 to 2018. Charles Radcliffe. I am sure that the whole council sends its thanks and best wishes to them all. But before we move on to the next item of business, I would just like to say some words regarding a former colleague who is sadly absent this evening. Former councillor and mayor of Winchester, Ray Pearce, sadly passed away last week. Ray served as a member of the council for 28 years, representing the St Paul's ward, having been elected in 1986 until his retirement in 2014. He was mayor of Winchester 1994 to 1995 and was a long-standing member of both the planning and licensing and regulation committees. And he was a dearly loved and a lovely man. So would you mind if I asked you just to stand in silent tribute just for a minute in his memory? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Deputy Lieutenant, honoured guests, Madam Mayor. I've already said once today, this is a very special evening, and we started with a fabulous installation of our new Mayor, Councillor Clear, and we are closing with the bestowing of an honour of the freedom of the city. And this is a rare and special gift that the council issues. So I'm very pleased to welcome representatives of the Royal Logistic Corps who are based at Worthy Down, just outside of the city. May I invite Colonel Patrick Allen to join Madam Mayor on the stage. Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you, Chief Exec. Welcome to Colonel Allen and to his colleagues. To grant the freedom of the entry of the city of Winchester is a special honour and comprises the right to march through the city to the beat of drums, with swords drawn, bayonets fixed, and colours flying. Of course, the Council has recently signed a refreshed military covenant. The covenant underlines our pledge to support the efforts of the armed forces, especially those with a close association with our city and district. Leader, would you please move the motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Deputy Lieutenant, honoured guests, Madam Mayor, fellow councillors, it's a very great honour to be able to propose this motion this evening. The Royal Logistics Corps and the predecessor units that came together to form the Corps 30 years ago have a long and proud military history. And even though they only recently moved their headquarters to our district, their connections with the city go back far further. For those present who wish to learn about the Corps, I can thoroughly recommend a visit to the RLC Museum at Worthy Down. It is an excellent addition to our district. You will receive a very friendly welcome. But one of the things that is most striking is the parallels it illustrates between the RLC's history and the other aspects of our city's military story. It starts when you enter the museum. There in front of you is a replica of a Marlborough cart, one of the world's first purpose-built military logistics vehicles. used to devastating effect by the Duke of Marlborough in the War of the Spanish Succession. In the run-up to the Battle of Blenheim, he moved his troops and supplies across country from Belgium to Bavaria with incredible pace and skill. But the predecessors of the Royal Logistics Corps were not the only local military forces involved. If you enter the Royal Hampshire Regimental Museum, there in front of you, as also the first thing you see, is a display of a soldier of the same army, Marlborough's army, who took part in the same campaign. The first battle honour listed on the Royal Hampshire Regiment's colours is Blenheim, and the Royal Logistics Corps' predecessors were there. Alongside the regiments that became the Royal Hampshire Regiment, they were there at Blenheim and Ramillies and Oudenarde and Malplaquet, all Royal Hampshire Regiment colours, honours, and they were with them there all the way. One of the next things you'll see at the RLC Museum is a record of Joseph Brewer, a driver of the Royal Wagon Train, who at a pivotal moment in the Battle of Waterloo drove through enemy fire to supply the Coldstream Guards at the Chateau of Hougoumont, a vital moment in the battle. But again, that moment is not only recognised in the RLC Museum. If you go to the Royal Green Jackets Museum, go upstairs and there's a fantastic diorama of Waterloo in which they also fought with great honour. And there, right at the front, as you enter the room, is Private Brewer driving his wagon of ammunition to Hougoumont. And it gets better than that, because something you can't do at the RLC Museum, but you can do at the Royal Green Jackets Museum, is buy a postcard of Private Brewer. And I have one here. Pass it on if you want. Now that's, to be fair to the RLC Museum, that's because they don't actually sell postcards at the RLC Museum. But they do have a gallery guide. And there, on the front of that, is this picture of Private Brewer arriving at the chateau. And as far as I know, Private Brewer, a proud member of one of the RLC's predecessor units, is the only private soldier to feature in 2 of our local military museums. And the more you look, the more parallels you find. The RLC is rightly proud of the role its predecessors played during the Peninsular Campaign, especially during Sir John Moore's retreat from Corunna, as are our other local regiments, honoured in Peninsular Barracks, Sir John Moore Barracks, and more than a few local road names. And what is clear when you visit the RLC's astonishing medal room is that in every campaign which the British Army has awarded a medal, the RLC and its predecessors have been there. They've always been standing alongside all the other military units that have been or still are based in our city. And that continues to this day. And of course, we've also always had residents of this district as part of this corps, and indeed we still do. So while the RLC may only recently have moved their headquarters here, in truth, they've always been here. Madam Mayor, the RLC has a proud history, and our city has a proud history too. Both of us are proud of our history, but today we are both looking to the future. World events show that superior logistics are at least as important today as they have ever been. And we are lucky to have such a world-class, innovative and adaptable organisation as a strong new part of our city and district. An organisation that on June the 1st will be celebrating 30 years since its predecessor corps came together, and that now we very much hope has found its enduring regimental home. This evening, we have the opportunity to acknowledge that by giving the Royal Logistics Corps the freedom of entry to our city. There is no better way to thank the RLC for their service to this country, the close ties that we are already forming, and their commitment to a shared future with our city and district. And therefore, Madam Mayor, it gives me great honour to hereby move the motion that this council, in recognition of the close ties of friendship which have been established between the City of Winchester and the Corps, and the most excellent civil links thus formed, do confer upon the Royal Logistics Corps the freedom of entry to the City of Winchester, comprising the right to march through the city to the beat of drums, with swords drawn, bayonets fixed, and colours flying. And I ask fellow councillors to support this unanimously tonight.
Thank you, Leader. Do you have a seconder, please?
I do, Councillor Horrell.
Councillor Horrell?
Deputy Lieutenant, Madam Mayor, honoured guests, councillors. The Military Association with Winchester is long established, as Councillor Todd has just illustrated. Indeed, many of our councillors have a strong link to our armed forces. The role of His Majesty's military forces in the modern world has become clear to us all. Our forces have been committed in several conflicts in recent decades, and even now playing their part in supporting the Ukrainians in their war against Russia. The role of the Royal Logistics Corps is critical in enabling our forces, and the Army in particular, to conduct operations successfully around the world. Winchester City Council is rightly proud of our links to the Royal Logistics Corps at Worthy Down. And it is an honour, Madam Mayor, to second the motion before us this evening, and I hope vote unanimously to support it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So may I please now put the motion as proposed by the Leader and seconded by Councillor Horrell to the vote? Is that all agreed?
We'll now present the freedom. Yes. Put it back on the easel for me.
Thank you, Colonel Allen. But I think you know.
Very couple of quick
Okay,
words,
sir.
Madam
Thank
Mayor.
you.
Deputy Lieutenant, High Sheriff, honoured guests, Madam Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Master General of Logistics, it gives me the greatest pleasure to accept the freedom of the City of Winchester, an ancient city from the Kingdom of Wessex and the medieval capital of England. As we have heard from Councillor Todd, the city has a long and prestigious connection with the military. My own regiment, the Royal Logistic Corps, remains the largest corps in the British Army, with 14,000 troops under command and an active veteran community of over 30,000 veterans. To be able to call Winchester our permanent regimental home, and to formally mark the event with being presented the freedom of the city in our 30th year, is a genuine honour. Whilst only 30 years old in our current guise, it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge our antecedent regiments, whose lineage as formed regiments date back to 1796, some of which you've heard about tonight. The Royal Corps of Transport and the Army Service Corps were both Hampshire-based too. Their previous regimental homes were in Aldershot and Longmoor respectively. The Army Catering Corps, also from Aldershot, and the Royal Army Ordnance Corps, just across the border in Deepcut, Surrey, from 1947 to 1993, The regiment was originally raised in Hilsea and Portsmouth in 1921. I offer this in the hope that although we're the relative new kids on the block in our current guise, we are indeed old friends of Hampshire, with many hundreds of thousands of soldiers throughout the ages being recruited, trained, married, housed, children born, retired, and eventually settling in this wonderful part of the country. To now be formally recognised by being awarded the freedom of the county town is indeed a very special event. To matters in hand, I know that many here have assisted us in our journey to making Winchester our permanent home. And I talk on behalf of wider defence colleagues with the reference to the significant development at Worthy Down Station. I know, we know, that these things don't happen by accident, and you have your own army of people working behind the scenes to maintain local services and support to the military community with an increased population over the last decade or so. Personally and specifically, many here tonight have gone the extra mile to assist us with formally recognising our own relocation and our own 30th anniversary, the event that has become known as the RLC 30 event, scheduled for the 1st of June. I am tremendously grateful for the practical support that you have given to mark the event. It is simply heartfelt and astonishing. And what more fitting symbolism than exercising our freedom on the 1st of June with swords drawn, bayonets fixed, and to the sound of beating drums. We will have 500 people on parade, maybe possibly the largest parade you've seen for a while, including active service personnel, veterans, and we will be joined by cadets too. We anticipate in excess of 2,000 people watching the parade, many of whom will move to Winchester Cathedral for a service of thanksgiving. And I do hope that many of you will be able to join us on that day. Madam Mayor, I graciously accept the freedom of Winchester, and I assure you I will ferociously guard the honour bestowed upon us and the regiment. This is the start of a very special relationship between the Royal Logistic Corps and the City of Winchester, and I look forward to us working together in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, no, Alan, please. How dare you?
Sorry,
Sit.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Colonel Allen. And of course, the city as a whole is very, very much looking forward to the core exercising its freedom on Thursday, the 1st of June. And of course, the council looks forward to our continuing partnership. So a very big thank you once again, and stay where you are. Don't move. Ladies and gentlemen, that being the last of business, the annual meeting of the council is now concluded. And I hope you will join me later in the King Charles Hall. But that's the end of the meeting. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. Thank you.